Hello there, friends, and welcome back to the channel. If you are new around these parts, hello. Thank you so much for clicking in today's video. I'm doing a plan with me. You guessed it. I'm doing a plan with me for the week of April 21st. This is the week that we were in California. Excuse me, y'all. I burped. This is the week that we were in California, and I could have sworn that this was the week we went to California, but we actually went the Saturday before this. And I realized I never talked about it in my last plan with me because I literally, in my head, because this was so long ago, I was convinced that we left on the Monday. And then I looked at my notes and I was like, no ho, you left Saturday the 19th. So I'm going to backtrack and kind of give you guys some of the plans, like some of the things we did during the weekend. And then I'll get into this week. And I will be talking through the plans because we did things and I think it's actually interesting as opposed to, what I typically do in a week. And also, I'm not a big talk through plans kind of girl, as y'all know. If you've been here for a while, it's just not my vibe. But I am using the December 2024 mystery from Scribble Prints Co. This, I believe, is called Asian Eats. It's obviously an Asian cuisine themed foodie kit, and I think it is stunning. And I was very shocked when this came out because this is not typically prioritized with bigger shops for the most part. I would say Caress Press prioritizes it a little bit more, or at least did. But this was very surprising from Scribble Prints Co. I was just surprised in a very good way. Like, amazing. No notes. Love this kit. Love anything that is representative of culture. I think culture is so beautiful. It's so important. There's such just an incredible beauty in customs and traditions, in food, in everything that makes culture. So I'm just so grateful that this exists. I'm not Asian, but I think it's just so important to have more things that celebrate culture. That's just me, that's just me. So I was really excited to use this. Like I said, this was the week we went to California and we were actually in Disneyland, and it is rare when I go to Disney that I don't use a Disney kit, but there is good reason for why I'm using this kit. If you've watched my other videos, like I think I talked about this in my kit lineup video for April, then you would know the dilemma I had between this and a Disney kit and why I was considering this kit. And you will hear throughout this week why I ended up ultimately going with this kit. So love this. Once it's reformatted, probably in December, I do plan to pick it up again. It's just so good. It's just one of those things you just want as a keepsake. I feel like one of those kits to hoard, even though I'm trying really hard not to hoard kits, but what can I say? So this was such a pleasant surprise. And then the foil and the underlays. So the underlays came with the mystery kit, which I wish she would do more often. I kind of love that. They were solid underlays. I'm assuming it was just one of the patterns that came with the art set that she used, and I really love it. And then for the foil, I did a Champagne Lights Sparkly Red mixed foil bundle. I forget the actual format, but if you look up Sparkly Red, sorry, y'all. If you look up Sparkly Red in her shop, you'll run into this. I can't remember the format it's in. Maybe Pixie Dust or something like that. Not entirely sure, but I went back and forth on how I felt about this foil combo. The kit is amazing. That is not in question. I just didn't know if I love this. And I would look at it sometimes and be like, I don't like this. And then I would look at it again and be like, no, I kind of like this. So I think the final verdict is once everything is down, I do indeed like it. That's what we're going to run with. We're just going to run with that. So that is all the nitty gritty. I'm going to go ahead and start getting into the plans so I don't run out of time. And because we're covering a little bit over a week of plans and they were busy. So let me, I had my notes pulled up here. Okay. So let's start with Saturday the 19th. So this was when we flew out to California. So we had a very early flight. I think it was 7 a.m. or something like that. So we were up at 3 a.m. and I was having a heart attack because the place that we usually park and then take the bus to the airplane, or to the airport, I should say. They had notices on their website that it was full or super limited. And I was like, bruh, leave me alone, bro. Like, I do not need more anxiety. I'm already super anxious when I fly. So that was giving me anxiety, but we got there and there was plenty of parking. I was like, so y'all just giving me heart attacks for free. That's fantastic. We got to the airport. Everything kind of just went as planned. The flight was very bumpy and I was PMSing. I'm PMSing now. I was PMSing then. And I had a full-on breakdown on the flight, which was super fun. It was fine. Like, of course, not at the time. I was like, get me off this thing. But it was fine. Although I don't typically have breakdowns on planes as much as I hate flying. I think it was just heightened anxiety. One, because the whole like parking situation really had me anxious. And then two, because I was PMSing. And usually when I'm PMSing, I have higher anxiety, which is, again, super fun. So, went through my breakdown. It was fine. We landed. Bestie came to pick us up and we went to brunch. We got there fairly early because we had that early flight. And then with the time change, LA is 3 hours earlier than us. So we got there fairly early. So we went to brunch at a place called The Waffle, which was really good. I was hungry AF. So I pretty much stuffed my face and then had the itis. And they had a little bit of a wait too. So by the time we finally sat down, I was like, bruh, I want everything. So we had brunch, ate our faces off, and then I had the itis, and it was kind of like in between napping once we got back to his place, and we just kind of chilled. Like, this was actually, y'all, not to interrupt the plans, but this was actually one of the best vacations I ever had because there was just so little on the agenda. It was just a very chill, like, go with the flow, and I feel like California invites that vibe kind of anyway. Literally, like, I felt the best on this vacation, like, physically, mentally, so good. So grateful for it. Can't wait to go back. So then Sunday was my cousin's birthday. I had to mark that because I love her. And then I got some Starbucks for, like, a quick breakfast. And then once Bestie got up, we went to the farmer's market. There's a farmer's market near him every Sunday. So we went to check it out. He, like, always will call me when he's, like, walking to the farmer's market. So I thought it was funny that now I get to walk over with him. So, oh my gosh, y'all, sorry, my voice is not having it today. So we were like checking out all the things, and we saw Beyonce's backup dancer there. I know, wild, crazy, but true. And Bestie sees him all the time, so he must live nearby. But we were like, oh my God, it's Beyonce's backup dancer. And, we have the show that we're going to in about a week's time when this was. So we were like, oh my God, what does he know? Because it's the first night that we went to. So I was like, we should go over there and ask him what he knows. Obviously, we left him alone. We did not want to bug him. And we didn't even know if he would be, like, he was a backup dancer for Renaissance, but it's not guaranteed that he'd be back for this tour. And it's a good thing we didn't approach him because he wasn't back for this tour, which I would never go up there and be like, what you know? I would never, but it was funny. So we kind of hung out in the farmer's market. Bestie got some produce because we wanted to cook that night. We got some peach cobbler for dessert. It was a little, like, black grandma selling them, basically. Oh my gosh, she was precious. I was like, I will buy anything from you. And Bestie was like, he was saying that he had the peach cobbler before and it's really good. So we got some that. And then they had like a bakery stand there and they were selling all sorts of baked deliciousness. And I got a fruit like custard croissant. Yo, it was so good. Oh my God. I was like, this is amazing. This is amazing. So good. So good. So we had that. Then we went grocery shopping because, like I said, we wanted to make some dinner later on, like cook dinner instead of getting takeout. So we went grocery shopping. We did grab lunch. We ran like a few errands. Then we came home and hung out. And then we made dinner. Me and Bestie kind of tag team dinner. I made rice and he made most of it, I should say. He really did. Oh, hold on now. Oh my God, my phone fell through like the opening in my couch and I'm like trying to get it. So sorry. So he made cornbread. He made most of it. He made cornbread. He made green beans and steak, and I made rice. And I didn't even love the way my rice turned out. I don't know if it's because I wasn't like home or I didn't have the right ingredients. I don't know. It just was not as good as I wanted it to be. So we ate, hung out, and then passed out basically. So good. We're just starting Monday. Let's get started. We're kind of on time. So on Monday, Flo came to essentially fuck up my life, of course, because why wouldn't she allow me to enjoy my vacay? But even with Flo around, I felt pretty good during this vacation. It was amazing. We were just kind of hanging out in, I'm going to get Bae and Bestie confused a lot here. We were hanging out in Bestie's apartment, basically. I worked on some shop listings because we're kind of up earlier than him anyway, just because of the time difference. So I worked on shop listings. I was getting everything ready to go live. And then we ordered breakfast on Uber Eats, and then we kind of hung out. And then once Bestie was up, he drove us to Anaheim. So we went to downtown Disney and we ate at Jazz Kitchen, which Kitchen is amazing, y'all. Highly recommend. If you are looking for a good spot to eat in Disney, I really love Jazz Kitchen. When we have gone, I've pretty much always gotten the gumbo, which I think is amazing. The gumbo and the bread, y'all. Like, the bread is so good. I'm also very much addicted to carbs. So if you don't love bread as much as me, maybe pick something else, but the bread was so good. So the bread and the gumbo are like my go-tos, but Bestie and Bae shared some crawfish lettuce wraps and they were like raving about them. They were like, they're so good. So those are my recommendations if you go to Jazz Kitchen, but I haven't had anything bad from there yet. So highly recommend Jazz Kitchen. We went there the last time we were at Disney, and we went twice the last time we were at Disney, and then we went this time because we wanted Bestie to try it. So then we headed back to the hotel. Well, we checked into the hotel because we were basically staying with Bestie the first 2 or 3 days. Then we were going to stay in Anaheim, and then we were going to head back to him later on in the trip. So we checked into our hotel. If you're going to Disneyland and looking at where you want to stay, I highly recommend the Westin. It is so much better value for your dollar than the Disneyland resorts. I'm so sorry. The Disneyland resorts are ridiculously overpriced, and they're not that amazing. Especially compared to all the options at the Disney World resorts or Disney World property. So I know the Disney World property is much bigger, so I get it. But it's too expensive to stay on Disneyland property. There are tons of neighboring hotels, so you can definitely find other accommodations close to the park. It just depends on your budget and kind of what you're looking for. We've stayed at the Westin now twice, I think 2 or 3 times, and that's basically the only place I'm staying. I'm not changing it. It's so good. We love staying there. So we headed back to the hotel, we checked in, and then we just kind of hung out. Bestie went home, and me and Bae hung out in the hotel and just kind of watched TV. So then Tuesday, we had breakfast at the hotel. It was kind of disappointing, honestly, which the last time we went, it wasn't. So it's not anything crazy. It's like your typical breakfast fare, and it is not included. Important to note, not included unless you buy like a package that includes it, but it doesn't come included. So we ate, then we took an Uber to Disneyland. This was Disneyland Day. And of course, as soon as we got out of the Uber, the first thing that we saw and heard was a man with a megaphone telling us we're all going to hell because we're going to Disneyland. So, great way to start your vacation. A wonderful way to start your vacation. And of course, people were like annoyed and were complaining to some of the cast members, like, bruh, like, really? But I think technically, legally, they couldn't do anything because he was standing in public, is it public property or state property? It wasn't actual Disney property, which is so annoying because he was literally right in front of the sign. So he knew what he was doing. But anyways, I was like, I'm not letting this hoe ruin my life. So onward we march. So we got in. We went to Adventureland first, which Adventureland is pretty much my favorite. We got on Jungle Cruise for the first time. I've never been on it. Mostly because, Bae is, really... and especially at Disney World, there's a real safari for Animal Kingdom. Why would I want to go to a fake one, basically, with mostly corny jokes. It was fine. Like, it was cute. I'm glad I did it once. Do I need to go on it again? No. If there's a low wait, would I go on it again? Sure. So we went on Jungle Cruise, went on Pirates, one of my favorite rides, and the Disneyland one is better. It is better. We went on Haunted Mansion, another one of my favorite rides. And then we went to Galaxy's Edge. We didn't actually go on any of the rides. We've been on them quite a bit, and Rise of the Resistance always has a crazy wait. I wanted to go on Millennium Falcon, but Bay was like not into that idea for some reason. So we didn't go on it, which is fine. Like, I've been on it many times. So I didn't really have a problem with it. But we did walk by Galaxy's Edge and kind of see some of the stormtroopers and stuff. Then we went to Toontown, which Toontown is so cute. Oh my God. And I should mention, like, we went to the parks with no agenda. Like, this trip was very much no agenda, no real plans. Like, we knew we were going to the park the days we were going, but we weren't like trying to necessarily ride anything. Like, we've done it mostly. So we just wanted to chill. We just wanted to have no pressure. So, and it was amazing. Highly recommend. Unless it's your first time doing Disneyland and you actually want to do things, that's fine. So we went over to Toontown. We went on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which is such a stinking adorable ride. The Daisy part is my favorite, and I just love Goofy. Goofy in the beginning, he's so cute. And then we went on the Disneyland Railroad. We kind of hung around the park a little bit more. And then we headed out for lunch to downtown Disney. And y'all, we went to Din Tai Fung for the first time. Y'all, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Oh my God. I was just blown away. We got the soup dumplings. We got the pork chop fried rice, not the pork fried rice, the pork chop fried rice. Disrespectfully good. We got the chocolate dumplings at the end for dessert. Oh my God. So good. Like, so good. 10 out of 10 would recommend. It is really pricey, so just be prepared for that. But oh my God, I was obsessed when I left. You will see how many times I ended up eating Din Tai Fung this trip. But yeah, so after that we were stuffed. We took the Uber back to the hotel. We kind of hung out there, and that was pretty much Tuesday. Wednesday, Bestie was supposed to meet us to go to DCA. So we had a bit of a late start to the day, but we got to DCA. We went to Cars Land first. I got on the Tomato ride, which was a little bit of a wait, probably more than I'd normally wait for it, but I just really wanted to go on it with Bestie because I love that ride. If you don't know that about me, I love that ride. And then Bestie always goes on Incredicoaster, which I will never get on, but I will happily hold his stuff and wait for him outside of it. So we did just that. We went to the Toy Story area. He got on Incredicoaster. Then we got hungry and we went to Award Wieners, which Award Wieners I think is so good. I feel like it's one of those things you need to have once. Like, I won't say I was blown away. Like, it's theme park food at the end of the day. But I feel like it's one of those places you need to go just once for the film strip fries. I'm just so sorry. They usually have like 2 or 3 different hot dogs, and then they come with the film strip fries, and they are delicious. And they have like a loaded film strip fries too. So I would recommend trying it at least once. Then after we stuffed our faces again, we went to Avengers Campus, which is just the best. It's just the best. Like, Black Panther walks by me. Captain Marvel walks by me. Thor walks by me. I'm like, this is the best place ever. So sorry. This is the best place. So we went to Avengers Campus and hung out there. We finally got on the Spider-Man ride. I will say, I feel like you should do it at least once. It's one of those things. Do it once, but it's not that great, to be honest with you. And mostly my arms hurt so much when I got off the ride that I'm like, why? And we waited, like, we did single rider line, I'm pretty sure, and we ended up in the like same vehicle, like ride vehicle, which is hilarious. But I think we ended up waiting like 25 minutes. I would not wait like longer than 30 minutes for that ride, unless you have a big unless you have a big Spider-Man fan in your family. I would not. I'm so sorry. So after that, we went and got a churro. Disneyland churros are notoriously just worlds better than Disney World churros. I don't understand why. Entirely, like, I don't know why Disney World can't get it right. But Disneyland, whew, so good. There was a little churro cart and they were like hot and fresh, and they were indeed hot and fresh. They were so good. And I'm not a big churro girl, like, at all. But it was amazing. And it was a little like chilly that day. So we were starting to get cold. So I was like, let's just head back to the hotel. So we headed back, kind of hung out for a little bit. And then we went to have dinner at the Cheesecake Factory and we stuffed our faces. I feel like we probably should have gone back to Downtown Disney. I'm not sure why we didn't go back to Downtown Disney. But alas, we went to the Cheesecake Factory, which was very close to the hotel. And we just had the itis because we ate so much food. Then on Thursday, I had a tummy ache. Go figure, because I ate so much food the night before, which Cheesecake Factory doesn't normally give me a tummy ache, but when I overeat, it does. So I skipped breakfast because I wasn't feeling super great, not to mention Flo was around, so I'm sure that also affected how I was feeling, but skipped breakfast. We checked out of the hotel, so we were only there for a couple nights, and then we headed to Downtown Disney to do some shopping and grab lunch, so we did that, and then guess where we ended up eating again? Din Tai Fung. I was like, well, Bestie's here, so he needs to try it. I just wanted to go back. So we went back to Din Tai Fung. It was, again, incredible. It's just so good. It's so good. And then we left with Bestie back to LA. So we were going to stay with him for the rest of the trip. So we headed back there. We all took a nap because we stuffed our faces again. There was lots of eating happening. And then when we woke up, we decided to explore LA a little bit. We went to the Funko Pop store, which I highly recommend if you've never been and you like Funko Pops and you're into fandoms and those things. It's so cool in there. It was so fun in there. I think we got 2 or 3 Funko Pops. I think Bae got 2 and I got 1. If I'm not mistaken, where did I put that Funko Pop? Now I gotta find it. I'm not sure where it is. I think, I don't even remember who it was now. I'm blanking because this was so long ago, and I'm sure it's in a bag somewhere. I will, if I remember or if I find it while I'm editing this video, I'll try to put it in here. Because I know I was obsessed, but I was obsessed with a couple of them, so I really had to choose. They have a station where you can make your own, like, Funko Pop, like After You, which I think is so cool. Bae was going to do it, but I think there was, like, a wait for them to actually make it, which makes sense, because they have to make it to your liking. And I think he said when he went to try to pick out, like, the features and stuff, that there wasn't any that really, like, suited him, so he decided not to do it. But cool experience if you do it. We've seen some videos of folks who have done it, and you can search the Funko Pop store on YouTube to check out if it's, something you want to go to, but we thought it was amazing. We walked down Hollywood Boulevard a little bit, and then we went to Amoeba Music, which is like this old school, like, record vinyl store. So, like, what a gem. Oh my goodness. I was having so much fun in there. I got a couple of shirts and I found the Renaissance vinyl, which I was really excited to find because I wanted to get it since I ended up picking up the Cowboy Carter vinyl because I want to have the 3 acts. So I was so happy to find the Renaissance one. So I scooped that immediately and I now have both. And when Act 3 comes out, I'm going to have the 3rd one. So I'm so excited. So yeah, after Amoeba Music, we got some Popeyes for dinner at that point. Yeah, dinner. And then we went back, ate our food, kind of hung out, watched TV, etc. And then Friday, we had breakfast and we went to Madame Tussauds Wax Museum, which was fine. It wasn't anything crazy. Like, I've done that museum before, just not... Actually, no, we did the LA one years ago. So it was fine. We went to the rooftop restaurant there. I would say the food there is not great. I would not bother. The only cool thing up there is that there are a few more wax figures up there, which I thought were really good wax figures, actually. So if they allow you to just go and check that out, that's cool. But, like, the food, not great. Not great at all. And then we headed back home. We watched The Wiz because Bestie's favorite movie basically is The Wiz. So we watched that. And I have seen it before, but I feel like never entirely. like always in pieces. So it was nice to just sit down and see it from beginning to end. And it's just the best. I love the whole Wizard of Oz world, the whole thing. The Wiz, the Wizard of Oz, obviously Wicked, love it all. And then we ordered takeout for dinner. And then Saturday, Bay was heading out. He was heading back home. We left on different days because he had to head back for work in time. So he had another early flight because it was the only choice we had. So we had to get up early to bring him to the airport. And then after, Bestie was like, oh, do you want to drive by SoFi Stadium, which is where B was performing for the show we were going to. And I was like, now? Because at that point, it was probably like 5 or 6 in the morning. He's like, yeah, now I want to see if they have any posters. I'm like, okay, because it's near the airport. So we went and drove by there like the crazy people that we are. And then we had breakfast, and it was a pretty chill day. Bestie actually had like an engagement he had to go to that had already kind of been like worked out that he couldn't miss, which was fine. I was like, I can just chill here and work on like shop stuff because I brought my laptop, so I didn't mind. And then since I was home alone most of that day because he was out, guess what I ordered on Uber Eats, y'all? Yep, Din Tai Fung. 3 times in 1 week I have eaten Din Tai Fung. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's so good. And I miss it so much. The reason I ate it so much is because I looked it up to see if there were any near me, and they're not. So I was like, all right, we're going to take full advantage of this opportunity. And I definitely have a problem. And I feel like half of my travel budget was allocated to Din Tai Fung, but it doesn't matter because it was so delicious. So I just hung out by myself, watched TV, worked on the shop, ate Din Tai Fung, really had a good time. I chatted with Babe for a little bit once he finally got home, and he got home safe. And then Sunday was a quiet day. We went to the farmer's market. I got another one of those fruit croissants, and we kind of just hung out. We watched Abbott Elementary and ate. That was basically it. Sunday was pretty low key because Monday was Beyonce Day. So you guys will hear about that day, aside from like, you'll hear a little bit about the concert, but you guys will hear about that day for next week's Plan With Me, which I will be using my Cowboy Carter kit, Blackbird, and I'm so excited. So excited for y'all to see it. I already laid down the base, and she is just a stunner. She's a stunning stunner, and I cannot wait to see y'all spreads with it. So, yeah, that is everything for the week. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I always feel like when I have to talk through like plans or a lot of plans that I just sound like I'm going 55 miles a minute or words a minute. So I hope it wasn't too bad for y'all. But I love how this spread turned out. I love this kit, like I mentioned, and I have no regrets in using this instead of a Disney kit because Din Tai Fung needs to be celebrated. And so does Asian culture. Anyway, thanks for watching, y'all. I'll see y'all real soon.